Hi, everybody. Welcome to another ramble. It is Friday, the 23rd of January, 2015. It's Friday, right? Everybody, it's Friday. Everybody loves Friday. It's the end of the week. You get to go home and get all messy for the weekend and do whatever you want instead of turning up to work all week, or unless you have one of those jobs that you have to work over the weekend, which aren't the best, or if you're one of those unfortunate souls who has to work 6 or 7 days a week as well, also not the best. If you have a cushy office job where you work 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, then you probably live for the weekends. It's like in the 80s when they used to play that song, everybody's working for the weekend, and they always had those sort of city skyline views of LA, just as the sun is setting and Tom Hanks is getting into his big white Reeboks, but still wearing a suit and stuff, and he's got his briefcase and he's getting ready to go home for the weekend, or go for a weekend at Bernie's or whatever. And I don't know, every time I think about the weekend, that's what I think about. I think about those movies. I think about movies like that, or I always just think of Die Hard for some reason. It's just it's always those action movies from the 80s that have LA in mind somewhere, and the sun setting over LA, like Terminator 2, even though that wasn't quite the 80s, or Die Hard or whatever. I always think of that when I think of working 9 to 5. Not Dolly Parton, funnily enough. Working 9 to 5, working for the weekend, and then having the weekend off to do whatever the hell you would like to do. For me, Friday today is going to be pretty good, actually. I started a bit late this morning. I didn't mean to, but it's just the way that it goes sometimes. So I'm in here a bit later than I normally would be. I was hoping to maybe get Lewis or Terps or somebody from Hat Films, or even Shin, actually, to chat with this morning. But they're all busy. Everybody's having some sort of meeting for nerds, or are recording some other thing or whatever. So I wasn't able to get anybody. So here I am on my lonesome, rambling on as usual about the 80s and the 90s and the weekend. I don't ramble about the weekend that often, I don't think. But hey, it's Friday. It's worth rambling on about the weekend on Friday, right? No? Okay. So I was going to get Lewis on because I wanted to talk about how we got started, how we became friends in the first place, and how I joined the Ogscast or whatever, because people seem to want to know about that. So that'll come along. Well, as soon as I can sort of nail him down, not in a sexual way, nail him down to get him onto here, which shouldn't actually really be much of a problem unless he's busy. We can do that. Of course, people are asking why I started doing content with Hat Films in the first place as well. So it would be cool to get somebody from Hat Films on to talk about that too. I don't know. I can't remember if it's a very exciting story. I think they just wanted to do a Minecraft series with me. And then from there, this beautiful friendship blossomed. And now we do lots of stuff together. And it's very fun. They're a group of 3 guys who are very fun to play games with and hang out with. So that's good. So we can talk about that. People wanted me to get Shin on so that we could talk about movies, and we could talk about how we became friends and got started doing content together and joining the Ogscast and everything. We can totally do that too, as long as he's not recording something else, and I can pin him down, maybe in a sexual way in Shin's case. We can talk about that kind of stuff as well. But sadly, we can't do that today because, like I said, they're all busy. So instead, I will tell you about what I'm going to be doing today, what I'm going to be doing next week, which is kind of exciting if that's your thing. And also maybe we can talk about just whatever random shit pops into my head off the back of those 2 key subjects. So today, Friday, for me, is kind of slow this morning. I have some paperwork and shit to do. Because I'm moving soon, I've just got all these things to chase up with people at the bank and with lawyers and stuff. I'm not moving away from Jersey. I'm moving within Jersey. We're just getting a house instead of a small apartment, because I don't know if you're in the same situation as me where you have a wife and a 3-year-old and a small 2-bedroom apartment, but 3-year-olds, and as they become 4-year-olds and of course 5, 6, 7 and 8-year-olds and stuff, they outgrow everything very quickly. They accumulate a lot of stuff. They get much bigger. They get much more mobile. Like he's just running around all the time now, and just wants to be up and gone and active and everything. And there's just no more room. A small 2-bedroom apartment is very limiting for a 3-year-old. So luckily, we're in a position where we can get a bigger house with a garden and stuff like that, so that he can go outside and like play in like a sandbox and do shit like that. Maybe get like a slide or whatever. And that'll be really good for him. And it'll be really good for us too, because of course it's nice to have a house, especially when you've never had a house before. So that'll be great. So I'm really busy with that. Lots of like paperwork and stuff to do, like I said, and just other general shit around that to do. But this afternoon, I'm going to be playing some Evolve again with Hat Films and with Terps, because we played it earlier in the week. And it was fun as hell. Holy shit. It's actually a really good game. It's not for everybody. It's by the guys who made Left 4 Dead originally. So the theme of Evolve is that somebody plays a monster. And if you remember Left 4 Dead, and you remember the encounters you had against tanks when you were 4 friends fighting against mobs and mobs of zombies, and then all of a sudden a tank would turn up and start throwing cars at you or whatever. That is the equivalent of the monster in Evolve. The monsters all have like special abilities or whatever. There's like 4 special abilities. And the mechanic for monsters is that they run around the map and they kill wildlife and eat it. And then when they get enough feed, I guess, or they accumulate enough nature points, they evolve. And as they evolve, they gain special bonuses, additional abilities, and they increase like the damage that some of their abilities do, or the cooldowns, reduce the cooldowns on their abilities. There's like special monsters out in the world that you can go kill, and they give you bonuses and boosts and stuff like that. So you've got 4 hunters against 1 monster, all player controlled, except for one of the hunter types is actually called a hunter, and has a pet dog named Daisy, who can track the monster for you. So if you're on the hunter team, 4 of you just end up following around Daisy, trying to find this monster who can give himself away by running through like trees and making noise, or like disturbing flocks of seagulls who fly away, and then you can tell where he is and stuff. And you have like a whole array of weapons to like take him down. You could put up this like fucking pterodome thing where like it traps him and he can't get out, so you can sort of isolate him into one area and drop mines all over him and use a flamethrower on him and everything. It's cool. It's really fun. Like each match is like 10 to 15 minutes, which is perfect. It's really fun and bursty and just really exciting. No match is the same because, especially with us, we're new to the game. So anyone trying the monster for the first time fails miserably, and it's hilarious. And anyone who has done it before can sometimes get the mad jukes and get away from everybody, evolve. And then the monster can either kill everybody, or it can evolve to stage 3. Which is like super mutant, with like these gigantic sort of like dongers coming out of its back and legs and stuff like that. And its goal is to knock out this like power relay thing on the planet that you land on. And I think it's because it wants to like suck the power. I don't know. I think anyway. But that's the point. That's how the monster wins. And of course the hunters win by killing the monster at any stage in its evolution. So it's very fun. I mean, format-wise and for recording stuff, it seems to fit with the type of stuff that we've been doing recently and the kind of stuff that we've been really enjoying recently, where you can almost have like a round of something, a solid round of something into a video, and it's not too long or too tedious to watch. There's like a start and a finish, like a set start and a finish. There's no cutting off midway or whatever. So we'll see how it does. I mean, like anything, it'll go up on the channel, and if people really fucking hate it, we won't do it again. People really like it, we'll continue doing it because it's fun, and it's likely something that we'll end up playing for other channels, and probably just in our spare time as well, because it's very good. It's in closed beta now. I'm not sure when it's actually coming out, but from what we've played so far in the last like session that we recorded and played and had fun playing, seems pretty solid. We didn't have really any problems or anything. There wasn't any like awkward crashes or game breaking bugs or anything like that. So all good so far. So I'm really looking forward to playing that this afternoon. It's going to be fun. It's always very fun to get together with Hat Films and Terps and record whatever we end up recording, whether it be Gary's Mod or Evolve or GTA or whatever. We have like a nice little group that we all have fun doing stuff with together. And hopefully Evolve becomes just another thing that we can play together and have fun with. So yeah, like I said, looking forward to that. That unfortunately, because we had fun playing it earlier in the week, has replaced Don't Starve Together. We were meant to be recording that today, but we're going to play Evolve instead because we're all so excited to play it again and it's very fun. But we're probably going to do Don't Starve Together next week instead, because we're just going to put it off. Because while it's something that we all want to play and that we're excited to play, we're just a bit more excited to play Evolve. So that always, anything that we're excited about or that we actually really want to do, especially if it's over something else, just takes priority. And that's the way it works. And of course, if you were in our position, you'd probably do the same thing too, right? If you just like were more excited about something than something else. I mean, Don't Starve, I love. I'm always excited to play it anyway. But because I have played it a lot in the past, a new game is always going to seem like a fresher experience, isn't it? Like, you know, something that you haven't played very much and that has possibilities and is exciting and stuff like that. You're always going to like sort of favor over the latter. So there's that. So Don't Starve Together, like I said, is probably still coming. We'll probably record it next week, but there's probably going to be some Evolve coming as well. And that'll just sort of take a spot of Gary's Mod or whatever when it comes out. And that should be fun, and it should be good too. Otherwise, for Friday, for me, I'm doing this. I'll put this up. I should have mentioned this at the start, actually. This is in podcast format now. All I've done is kept the original audio files, had them processed so that they're not like too loud and too raw or whatever. They're like compressed and stuff now. And they've been put up to Libsyn, which then gets them onto iTunes as well. So if you use iTunes and you have like an iPod or an iPhone or whatever, you can subscribe to this there as well and download them and have them on the go. A lot of people were asking because they were saying, oh, I want to listen to you while I'm on the bus, or I want to listen to you in my car or whatever, but I can't load up YouTube there. So hopefully this is a good compromise. Hopefully this means that people can like listen to me ramble on about complete and utter nonsense all the time, anywhere they are. Like I said, I mean, if you're doing something else while you're listening to me, like your homework, or you're cooking, or you're like doing some brain surgery, or maybe you're, you know, like coding some sort of really aggressive nanovirus or something like that, you're doing it right. I mean, that's the thing. Don't just like sit here and stare at whatever is on in the background or whatever and listen. Do something else. I'm just here to keep you company. If you're listening to me while you're taking a dump, though, you're doing it wrong, because I never wanted to be part of that. I never wanted to be in the same room as you taking a dump. And actually, you never asked me if that was okay. I noticed that some of you were saying on Reddit, Sips, you said to do something else while I was listening to you, so I decided to take a dump. That's not okay, okay? I don't like the thought of you pinching one while I'm rambling on about you pinching one at this point. So if you are indeed taking a dump right now, shame on you. And do an inspection as well, because you should, okay? Some people don't look. You should always look to make sure that everything is right down there, but turn me off before you do it, because I don't want any part of it, okay? I don't want to hear about it or anything. It's private. Just keep it to yourself, and just carry on, and then turn me back on when you're done. And of course, wash your fucking hands too, you savage. Come on. You can't. Especially after number 2. You have to wash those hands. And a number 1 too. Come on, let's face it. I mean, anytime you're in the bathroom, there's particles. There's really disgusting particles flying around there everywhere. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but if you have a bathroom that has a window, some people don't. That's why I'm saying it. I mean, I used to live in a place where there was no window in the bathroom, and it was awful. It's really quite the experience. But if you're lucky enough to have a window in your bathroom, and at certain times in the day, if the sun is just sort of like beaming into that window or whatever, you know, you get like those rays of sun coming in, and sometimes you can see like dust and stuff flying around. Do that when you're in the bathroom, and if you're a guy and you're standing up and taking a pee, look at that ray of sun and you'll see like lots of like pee flying everywhere, and it's disgusting. And that's why you should wash your hands after you've been in the bathroom, because even though it seems to be contained in the toilet or whatever when you're peeing, that shit flies everywhere. It's just like a faulty garden hose, and you wouldn't notice it that there's like a little bit of like residual spray or whatever. But it happens, and that's why you have to make sure that you're always like washing your hands and keep it clean, keeping it fresh and clean. Because otherwise, you're gonna pass that. You're gonna go to a job interview. You're gonna go to a job interview with Donald Trump, for instance, who refuses to shake people's hands. But you're going to overwhelm him so much with your charm and natural beauty that he's gonna be like, you know what? This one time, I'm going to shake this guy's hand because this person has really had an impact on me. So he's going to shake your hand. And then when he gets home, all the alarms in like his state-of-the-art house are going to go off because they're going to do that ultraviolet thing. And they're going to look at his hands, and there's just going to be splotches of your pee all over his hands. And he's going to go absolutely apeshit. And then he's going to take back the job offer that he gave you of being his new numero uno, or however he decides to call like his employees or people that work for him or whatever, based on The Apprentice. And you're going to remember this thing that you've listened to me say, and you're going to be like, damn, I should have just washed my hands like that fucking crazy guy on the podcast come YouTube video with unrelated gameplay in the background said. What am I thinking? So there you go. I bet you never thought you'd have a life tip from me today, but you have one. Pardon me. I just I had to lean away to clear my throat. I'm getting phlegmy. So that was my Friday. A long tangent about peeing and pooing off the back of me playing Evolve on a Friday. Also, I was talking to Shin earlier in the week, and I'm probably going to be on Boner Storm, or Cornerstone, as everybody knows it, which is a Minecraft series starring just about everybody. There's going to be the usual crew of people who are in Cornerstone, but Shin asked me if I want to tag along and see what it's all about. And at first I was a bit dubious because I am just at this point just really tired of playing Minecraft. But he said that it's fun. Everybody just chills out and fuck around, and there's like all sorts of like weird democracies because there's like a town mayor and stuff like that. And I thought, why not? I'll try it out. I'll see what it's like. I'll see if I like it or whatever. He assured me that there's nothing for me to worry about or do. Like, I don't have to like build anything or know any recipes or whatever. Apparently the mod pack they're using isn't like massively complicated either. It doesn't have like a billion kajillion mods in it or something. I might be wrong about that, or maybe I've just misunderstood that. But so yeah, next week, whenever they record it, whatever the day is, I'm likely to be in it. I have no idea how that's going to go. I don't know if it's going to be a case of me ruining a series, because YouTube's kind of weird like that. I mean, the way that like we make series of videos and the way that we put stuff together, and the way that anybody on YouTube does it, is you sort of you put your first video out of a series of something. And it always does very well. I mean, if you're into YouTube stats and stuff like that, and you ever look at this stuff, you'll notice like the number one episode of any series always gets way more views, way more likes, way more comments than any other episode in that series. Because the first episode of a series is like the buy-in. So like for somebody watching a video, they watch the first episode, and they make a judgment as to whether or not they're going to come back and watch more, if it's something they like, if it's a perfect storm of collaboration and game and personality and everything, and they decide to keep watching it. And then you see episode 2, you get probably like half the views that you got from episode 1, which is pretty natural, pretty normal, I think. And that goes for pretty much everyone on YouTube who does sort of like serial gameplay, let's plays or whatever like that. episode 2 will get like half the views and like half the likes or whatever, because the people who are watching episode 2 are the people that you've carried over from episode 1. So those are the people that have actually bought into the series, are interested in the game, are interested in everything about it, and are going to continue watching it. And all those other people that watched episode 1 have decided not to carry on watching it, or they just weren't into episode 1 enough to justify jumping into episode 2 straight away, and then maybe they come back later on, or they just batch watch like a whole bunch of them later on or whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is that like in the past where I've been in series where I've just come in the middle of a series and people are like, oh, get Sips out of here, he's ruining it, why is he in here, blah 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 blah. It's the whole buy-in thing. In episode 1, when you watch something and you like everything, it's all orchestrated perfectly for you or whatever, you buy into it. You're like, yes, okay, great, I'm going to watch episode 2. And then I think what happens is when somebody new joins in halfway through or whatever, it's a bit jarring because you've bought into this idea at the start and you've almost developed an expectation of how the series is going to be. And all of a sudden, somebody new who maybe doesn't fit in or maybe doesn't meet your expectation of what the series was all about comes in, and it's very jarring. And you're like, oh shit, this person is actually ruining what I thought this was going to be, sort of thing. So I've gotten a lot of backlash for that in the past. And in a way, I'm sort of expecting to get backlash from appearing in Cornerstone as well, because I haven't up until now, and it's been however many episodes have come out. People are probably used to like the dynamics, the groups, and everything. Me coming in might shake things up or something. I don't know how it's going to work or whatever, but there is likely to be people getting a bit shirty about me turning up in this series that I have basically no business being in. But I mean, the fact is, behind the scenes, the way that we work is we're all friends. So of course you're going to invite your friend along to play a game with you, because that's basically how we work. We just think, who do I feel like playing a game with today? You. Okay, let's do it. And that's basically what's happened to Cornerstone. But because of the way Cornerstone is scheduled and because there's so many people involved, it's very sort of rigid. It has to be recorded on the same day every week at the same time so that everybody can make time to be there, and bloody bloody blah. It you have to coordinate it or whatever. But I mean, basically Shin just said, do you want to be in it? And I said, yeah, okay, fine. And I'm going to be in it. So next week, I guess I'm going to be in like an episode or 2, or however many episodes come out of that session or whatever. So if you watch that and you're quite happy watching that without me in it, and I ruin it for you, I apologize in advance. Sincerely, I do, actually, because I can understand the frustration. Like, I understand that when you watch something and you expect it to be a certain way and it doesn't turn out being that way, that is very frustrating. But if you're looking forward to seeing me in that series, I hope I don't disappoint. I'm going to come in and I'm going to administer my own brand of roguish justice with something. I mean, I don't know what mods are in it. Maybe I can get a gun or something, or some sort of bazooka, or maybe just some good old-fashioned verbal laceration. But it's going to be like a no-holds-barred cage match where everybody's wrapped up in barbed wire, and the winner has to pile drive or body slam his opponent through a table that's covered in nails. So that'll be great. Well, in a really morbid sort of weird way. But I'm looking forward to it. It'll be very good. So that's next week. And other than that, I don't really have much to update you on in terms of what I'm doing. There's nothing like planned really that far ahead. Cornerstone is like the fact that like I know I'm going to be doing it next week is probably like the first time I've ever had something where I knew I had to be doing it next week that wasn't like a trip or something like that. So very organized for once. But yeah, like I was saying at the start, if I can get Lewis or Terps or anyone on, I want to talk about Terps. No, I don't want to talk about Terps. I want to talk to Terps about being a dad, because I'm also a dad. And there's probably lots of fun stories that we can share or whatever. And also, I haven't talked to Lewis in a while because it's just been so busy getting back from Christmas and stuff. And we need to get back into recording stuff for Double Dragon, which is very fun. We need to continue Divinity because we're having fun playing it, and we're getting somewhere in it as well. Which is amazing, actually, because it is apparently a very hard game, and a lot of people have had trouble with it, and we seem to be doing okay. We seem to have a system where it's not horribly efficient or even logical, but it seems to work somehow. We've just found like this perfect sort of system where we have, Spider Steve, and we have all these other dudes that we can summon to like act as meat shields for us while we just sort of prance around and cast magical spells and admire each other's capes and stuff like that. So that seems to work, and that's quite fun. But yeah, it's just a case of organizing it and playing it again, which hopefully we'll do. All right. Well, I think that's probably it. Did I cover the bits that I said I was going to cover? I was going to give you guys an update and then talk about something else, and I can't even remember what it was now. I think I just got massively sidetracked talking about poo and houses and Donald Trump and a job interview and some other fucking garbage, which I apologize for. But yeah, hopefully that's enough of, well, an update. Hopefully the updates aren't too boring for you. Like with any of these, leave me feedback. Let me know what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. If there's certain topics you'd like me to talk about more, I'm more than willing to do that. If you don't want to hear updates about YouTube and stuff like that, that's perfectly fine too. Let me know if it's not interesting or whatever. And next week, hopefully, I'll try to organize it a little bit better, because this is sort of like the first week I started doing this, and I'm still just sort of like finding things that I want to like actually do with it and stuff like that. But the fact that it's on Libsyn and the fact that it's on iTunes and it's available to download, it's very exciting. It's very fun. I think the James Dean Death Scene guys, the guys that made the Ballad of Uthgard, and they made Wolverine, and they made that song about me playing Skyblocks and stuff like that. They're going to do like a little like intro jingle thing. It's going to be great. So these are going to go up onto YouTube first, and then a couple of days later, they'll just sort of pop up on iTunes or whatever. The iTunes ones, you'll notice, won't have like any gameplay music or sound effects in the background because they're just using the raw audio. And we'll make it like a little bit more like a show for the podcast. So there'll be like a little like jingle in the intro or whatever. That'll be pretty fun. And then we'll have like really cool dramatic voiceovers. And then of course later on we'll have like commercials for like dildos and no, I'm just joking. It'd be cool if we could have commercials for dildos, because I've never heard one before. I didn't even know how you would start to do that. I've seen ads for fleshlights before, which is kind of weird. Not like on TV or anything, and of course not on like seedy parts of the internet. I've just seen pictures, ironically, of them on forums and stuff, because like, but dildos commercials, I suppose they just sell themselves. I guess you don't really need to sort of like wax lyrical about how amazing they are, because I guess you just sort of shove them in there and away you go. So there's that. Anyway, so little jingle, a bit of fun for like the downloadable version or whatever. But I'm a little bit conscious as well. I don't want the song to be like too fucking crazy and loud and where people get upset because the rest of the podcast is sort of like low key and kind of boring or whatever. But we'll see. It's all going to change, not drastically. It'll just be slowly. Little things will change, and you'll just have to let me know what you think of them along the way. And if they're massively unpopular, obviously they'll just change back, sort of thing. And I think that's generally a pretty good way of doing it. All right, well, 28 minutes of rambling. Jesus Christ. As usual, I can sit here and talk for like another like 5 hours or whatever, but I won't. I'll cut it here. Before I start talking about things that I'm now looking at on Twitter, which some of them I don't even really want to talk about. And actually, I'm considering sort of deleting Twitter now because, God, that is awful. So great. As usual, thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching if you're watching. Thank you for downloading and all that kind of stuff. This is fun. The community feels like it's alive again through doing this on Reddit and stuff like that, which is great. And it's nice that there's still gameplay videos going up, Gary's Mod stuff, which a lot of people do like and a lot of people don't like. And hopefully this is just like a nice compromise in between, where I try to find a game that I actually feel like playing. I started playing Diablo again last night, and it's very fun, actually. So that's what I've been playing. That and Hearthstone, mostly. There's been a new patch out for Diablo, and then the new Season 2 starting in, like, February or whatever. So that's pretty exciting, too. But for now, I leave you. Enjoy the rest of your day, or enjoy the start of your day, or whatever point of the day you're into, or enjoy if you're listening to this in the middle of the night and you're just about to fall asleep or whatever. I hope you don't have dreams about like pooing in front of Donald Trump or whatever, because dreams are like that, aren't they? You hear a bunch of stuff and then they all mix together, and then you just have like some weird fucking dream about like a talking dolphin who craps on your living room floor or whatever, and that's not ideal. So enjoy, thank you, and I will see you and talk to you next time. Bye bye.